On here today. Trust we had a very wonderful week, very productive and result oriented. It's a privilege once again to be here to conclude what we started about 3 weeks ago. But today's training is going to take a different dimension. What do I mean by this? Considering our time allocation, we have 2 hours for this training for today. So we will take time to look at some case study as regards logistics and supply chain management as it is applicable in different sectors, different organizations. If you are faced with such a challenge, such an issue, how will you tackle it? How will you handle it as a professional? So we'll be dealing with, maybe if time permits us, about 2 to 3 case studies. I believe that is a welcome development. Are we okay with that? Are we okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you. So that notwithstanding, we'll still have our class for today. We'll still have our class for today, and we shall be looking at materials management. We shall be looking at materials management. Okay. All right, so if you can see my screen, just say, I can see, so that I know it's visible for everyone to see. Can we all see my screen?
No.
No, sir.
Really?
I cannot
sir.
see it.
We are not seeing.
Okay. All right, so quickly, let's go to our platform. Let's go to our platform, please. Okay, I've just posted a case study there concerning global fashion retailer and all of that. Can we see it on the platform, please? Can we see it on the platform?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay,
We can see it.
All right. I want other
We
people
can
to
see
respond so that we know we're on the same page.
Yes, sir. We can see.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, please. As a professional, take your time, read the case study, see how well you can apply it in your organization or how it relates to you. Or better still, if you are in the position, let's say a management position as a logistician or what have you, and you are faced with this kind of case scenario, how would you have handled it? It's something we are going to discuss. So it's going to be an interactive session. Okay, it's going to be an interactive session. Let's share our experiences, our ideas as to what we understand by this. So let's just take our time and go through it. We have read through. We have read through. Okay. Now, this case scenario is talking about a particular company. Don't forget the last time we talked about different methods of materials, um, procurement, and all of that, warehousing and stores. And we did mention that some people believe in just in time. Some people believe in as the economy situation is, okay? But this particular one is talking about just in time as a case scenario. Trendy Trades, a global fashion retailer known for its fast-changing style and trending clothing, is facing significant challenges in its logistics and supply chain. The COVID-19 pandemic disrupted its established sourcing network in Asia, leading to stock shortages and production delays. Additionally, rising fuel costs and port congestion has caused issues and increased shipping costs. Now, trending trades relies heavily on just-in-time inventory management strategy to deliver the latest trend quickly to its customers. This strategy minimizes inventory holdings to disruption. Trendy trade also sources materials from multiple suppliers across Asia to get the best prices, but this complexity makes it challenging to adapt to sudden changes. Now, the discussion outcome. How can trendy trades mitigate the risks associated with JIT inventory strategy? JIT meaning just in time inventory strategy. Who can attempt this? How can you analyze this first question? Mitigating the risks associated with JIT. As a professional, your company is telling you that we want to go into JIT. What would be your advice and why? What would be your advice and why? Anybody, please. Let's make it snappy so we can meet up with our time. Anybody can contribute, please. Nobody is talking. Can anybody attempt it? Can anybody attempt it, please? Okay, let me mention name. Mr. Andrew, the first question is to be analyzed by you. Over to you, Mr. Andrew.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. You're welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me here. Thank you so much for your effort so far. To me, I think my first advice to the company would be first we must identify and mitigate the potentials. We must identify the risk associated to the just-in-time services, and also we need to implement some continuous improvement on how to mitigate the risk, not to have a huge impact or loss on the intent business. So first, we identify what are the risks associated to the just-in-time services, and also the next thing we need to look at how to mitigate them on how it will not have the negative impact, a possible impact on the services of the company. So I think we also need to use the bring in the services of the technology and automation, so that at every point in time we can always track the flow of our consignment, the location, the expected time of arrivals, and what have you. And another factor we need to look out is how to train and empower the workforce to give the best deliveries. So to me, I think these are the areas of concentration I need to advise the company. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I assume I don't know anything, and
Yes, sir.
I've contracted you as a professional to the core as far as this is concerned. You've just been able
Yes,
to
sir.
mention one or two to me with no idea at all that I have. How do I work with these points that you have mentioned? What I expected from you was to give me a simple analysis. Okay, sir, if we do it this way, these are the challenges, these are the advantages of this, these are the disadvantages of this, bearing in mind what we have within us. I'm happy you made mention of injecting technology, which is a very important aspect as far as JIT inventory is concerned. But you can as well break it down that anybody can understand. You spoke as a professional to a professional. Now speak as a professional to a non-professional so that I can then decide, oh, with what my manager is telling me, I think I want to go with him. So please, sir, just break it down. You have the time, please break it down for us. Educate us on how we can mitigate this. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Um, in the area of identifying and mitigating potentials, to me, we must identify before the services who are likely to be our carriers in terms of movement, logistics. For example, like last week, we were using DHL as a case study. We all know that they are good in time delivery. So we need to mitigate by identifying them, and also what's the possibility of getting our goods insured while they are on transit. What's the possibility? And also we need to look at how we can communicate with the stakeholders involved. The stakeholders involved are the delivery guys, the warehouse guys who are to pack the consignment, the production line away in Asia, how to place our orders and how to get them delivered to Nigeria. There should be a form of collaboration. We need to work as a partner to get the dream work delivered. And also, we have to look at how we can improve to be the best partners in the market. We need to improve on our products and services. We look at how we can get them like services that can get them attracted. We need to place adverts and how to run jingles on how to go about that. And also we need to learn how to use the technology which I mentioned, and thank God you could understand that. We need to improve on the technology aspect of the company, so that at the point of placing the order, at the point of moving to the point of confirming the order, moving to the point of getting the stock, and to the point of delivering these services, the technologies has to communicate with the intended client or proposed client that your item is being placed, at every given time the customer should be carried along, and that is the use of the technology, so that the customer can have a sense of belonging, that okay, I place this order at intervals, I'm getting a notification for it. That is where we have the use of the technology. And also we need to train the staff on what to do, because in order to get the best, you need to get the best hands. So the workers has to be trained part time. Human capital development is the key in every business in the world. You need to develop make your staff and workers be aware with the current mode of operations. So the staff will be trained on how to deliver timely deliveries, on safety and other forms of work areas they need to carry out in terms of marketing, on how to place marketing, customer relations, and what have you, sir. Are you there, sir?
All right. Yes, I am. Thank you so very much for that explanation. Just to chip in something, first you must understand your either short term, long term, or medium term planning as far as this is concerned. And we did make mention of the fact that when you are carrying out JIT system, you must be able to have a very robust, a very realistic, unbiased kind of projection. Carrying out a projection. If we are doing JIT, what is the projection? In the next 2 weeks, in the next 3 months or 5 months, what is the demand or what is the sales analysis that we have been able to extract from our findings? It is very, very important. It is very, very important so that we're able to know, should we order just a little based on our projection? If we order a little, what is the carrying cost? What is the cost of logistics? Will we be able to, pay for it rather than getting it in bulk and saving cost? Because at every point in time, saving cost is the language, is the anthem of every business person. So whatever you need to do, you try as much as possible to do what? To save cost. So planning is very crucial. Planning is very, very important as far as this is concerned. Thank you very much, sir. Any other person? Who else wants
Thank
to
you
take
so much, sir.
Yes, sir. Who else wants to take the second? Yeah, the second question. Who else? Who is taking the second question? What alternative sourcing strategies could trendy trades explore to ensure a more resilient supply chain? Can anybody attempt that? Can anybody attempt that? Any other person? I have Mr. Afolabi. I have Mr. Aruna Musa here. I have Mr. Manpit, Dr. Nuhu, Dutchman, Eloho, Bello, Neda, Patience, Raymond, Anaka. Please, The floor is open. Anybody can attempt the second question. I believe we are all here, please. Are we all here? Apart from Mr. Andrew, which I know is here.
Yes, sir.
The question again, please.
The question is, what alternative sourcing strategies could trendy trades explore to ensure a more resilient supply chain? What other alternative can they explore? I believe you read the question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please, over to you. There's no time. Let's make it snappy. We've got a lot to do here. Please. Anybody that wants to attempt, you can attempt, please. I wasn't expecting the class to be this quiet. I wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting bombardment, people struggling to speak. But it is what it is. Nobody wants to speak. Mr. Andrew, do you have any idea? Hello, Mr. Andrew. Wow, I think I'm the only one in class today. Can you see my slides, please? Can you see my slide?
No.
On material management?
We can see it now.
All right, thank you. So since we are not ready to take care of the case studies, which is applicable to us, I move straight to what I have today. When we are ready, if we have the time, we'll go through it. If we don't have the time, we've already spent 28 minutes. Only one person spoke. That is not encouraging to me at all. I must say it. Okay, so we look at materials management. In all that we have said so far for the past 3 weeks now, we've dealt with so many topics, and we'll be looking at materials management today. We'll be looking at IT as it relates to logistics, and we'll look at human resource management as it relates to logistics and supply chain as well. So when we talk about materials management, simply, how well is material being handled? That's just in a layman's interpretation. How well is material handled? How well is material processed? From the point of, when you plan, we did mention that at every point in time, whatever we do, that planning is number one. The most effective aspect, element in anything is effective planning. And that cannot be overruled here when we have materials. So we say materials management is the process of planning and controlling materials flow. Materials flow from one department to another as it is useful to them. Why will I give material to a department that have no need of that material? Why will I allocate resources to a department that is not readily available to use the material or the resources. So it boils down to what? To planning. Which department needs this material the most? Which department needs these resources the most? And what is the resources going to be used for? How can these resources be accounted for? Who is going to be held responsible once it is allocated? That is what materials management, the flow of materials from one location to another for effective maximization of the available resources or the scarce resources. It includes planning and procuring materials, suppliers evaluation and selection, purchasing, expenditure, shipping, receipts, processes for materials, including quality control, warehousing and inventory, and of course, materials distribution. So in other words, from the point of selecting your suppliers, from the point of movement of such material from the supplier to the facility, from the point of converting the raw materials into finished goods, taking it into the warehouse for kept, to the point of distributing it to the end user or shipping it as the case may be. How is it well handled? Can we really say that what was allocated to a particular department has been effectively, judiciously used for the objectives and the goals of the organization to be achieved? That is the question. So when next you allocate material, when next you allocate resources, you allocate it based on the usefulness of such materials to the department. So materials management uses inventories and production requirements for planning and control to ensure that materials are available as required to meet production schedule. Part of material management is the element that state clearly that at no point should there be shortage of resources or materials within an organization. Why? That can spell doom to that organization. It can reduce the profitability of that organization. It can reduce the patronization of customers to that organization. It can further reduce the level of flexibility of that organization. So, with the use of inventories, with the use of control, planning, you are able to know what is available and what is not available. So we have material management here. It is a cycle, a complete cycle. We can say that material management has a life cycle. We start with estimation to quotation. Of course, contracting. Once the contracting level is over, we have inspection. Inspection automatically gives birth to what? Delivery, because we are satisfied of what we have ordered. We are satisfied of what we have seen, hence delivery. And then before delivery, there must be what? Procurement. Then we have the storage, where it is kept for safe in the warehouse, within the facility, or where you think or believe is a safe and secure place for the organization. We talk about consumption. After conversion, we look at the waste. Is there any waste associated with this product, with this material? The waste has been identified. What can we do with the waste? Like we said last week, can we recycle the waste? Right? Can it be repaired? Can it be fixed? Can it be rebranded? Or it can simply be discarded? It is a complete circle. Okay? So, what are the types of materials management? We talk about MRP. Like the question that we just did as a case study. This important step in material management directly affects profit, as the lower the amount of materials used, the lower the cost of production, and the more profit is delivered. Reducing material overspend has caused some industries to consider what just-in-time strategies that require very small level of inventory. However, this still requires what? Careful planning to maintain without impacting product schedules. Just a case study that we treated a few minutes ago, and we are bringing it here again, JIT. That when you are talking about materials management, there are organizations that keep this in mind. Let us not overbloat the warehouse. Let it not be over congested. Let us not tie down money unnecessarily. Let's operate using JIT. But then, if we are using JIT, what do we stand to gain? What are the advantages? How does this affect the organization positively? How does it also affect the organization negatively? Are we ready to be welcome with unforeseen demands by customers? The question is, are we flexible enough? Peradventure, we had cases of demand that we were not prepared for. Do we have the capacity not to let our customers down? That is flexibility. So, material requirement planning affects the profit of an organization. When money is being tied down, the organization is on a standstill. But when money is circulated, money exchanges hands, is regulated, the organization is on a movement level. Number two, purchasing. Purchasing should be done economically on time to maintain material supplies and increase final profits by lowering what? Expenses. When, of course, we are procuring, when we are purchasing, we should do that economically, not doing it out of proportion, not doing it out of sentiment, but we are what? Guided, because we have profit mindset. We have customer satisfaction mindset. So the purchasing should be done in the right way. Well, of course, inventory control. Let us begin to understand that materials management is more of inventory control. We talked about how goods comes in, how goods go out. What is left that will propel us to procuring more materials? Do we have need for that? Did we do comprehensive budget? Did we do comprehensive forecast to know that if we procure this amount of product, we are definitely going to sell it off within the shortest period of time? What propelled or what guided our decision? So having inventory control is very important. An inventory can include a range of goods being held, including partially finished items. In accounting, we talk about finished goods, we talk about work in progress, we talk about raw materials, we talk about goods in stock and what have you. All this is quantifiable. All of these resources can be quantified. How much goods do we have that is yet to be converted? XYZ. How much goods do we have in the warehouse? XYZ. How much goods do we have, on transit? XYZ. How much goods is yet to be completed? At the end of the day, it is money that we are talking about. So many industries try to time purchasing so that materials enter stores just ahead of productions. Right? Material gets to us just ahead of production. We have received orders to supply a particular brand of goods in the month of June. Why will you get your material stocked in today? That's the reason we said that whatever action that you take must have been well analyzed before such a decision is taken. Did you procure the materials as a result of the current economic situation? Did you procure the material as a result of the current exchange rate? Because we are not certain if it's going to, skyrocket or it will depreciate. So whatever you do, you must be guided by what your action. Then we talk about material supply management. The supply chain can acquire materials to be distributed to different types of production centers. Please, can you mute your mic? Please, can you mute your mic? So instead of getting your material just to be distributed to a particular channel, a particular center, you can decide to do it based on geographical or geopolitical zone. Let's assume you have a center in the southwest. You have a center in the north central, in the south-south, southeast. This can further help you to know how the materials can move from one location to another. So, what do material managers do? What do material managers do? They are involved in planning. They are involved in organizing. They are also involved in directing and also controlling. Can somebody explain any of these four for us, please? Anybody? Just in 1 minute, in 2 minutes. Can anybody explain this, please? Okay, Mr. Andrew, thank you very much for being there for me.
Yes, sir. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much. The planning aspect of for a material manager, it's all about planning, knowing when that is making preparations, planning on how to receive or to take out consignments within his warehouse, and also to forecast that, okay, possibilities, all things being equal, in the next 3 months, we should be able to receive this stock based on request and order. And the organizing aspect is to organize, okay, you have 3 loaded containers shipment coming in on Tuesday. How do you organize the workers, the forklift, your forklift operator. How do you check to receive this item and stack them within your warehouse, and also to ensure that they are on the ERP system for everyone to be aware of the shipment, and also the directing aspect is how he or she goes about to take directions from management. Okay, at so day we need to dispatch this item, take directions, direct the workers under him, direct the management on the best practice of how to take offload or load on board the ship, if it's an international consignment or a local, on how to dispatch, and also controlling, that is control the aspect of the warehouse, how to go about those items that came in first, that are about to be expired, the items that needs to go in last, take actual control of the whole inventory, and also if it's a production company, the production lines on how to supply, take total control of the system. That is to my own understanding, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew. That's apt. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr.
You're welcome, sir. Thank
Lawrence,
you,
you
sir.
want to say something? Mr. Lawrence, do you want to contribute, or you mute your mic, please? Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew, for that explanation. Basically, Mr. Lawrence, please, can you mute your mic, please? I'm being disturbed. All right, so we talk about the planning, organizing, directing, and of course the controlling. Like what Mr. Andrew pointed out, every material manager has a responsibility from the point where an idea of procuring material comes on board. Your work starts right from that point. So everything that will transpire from that point to the point of delivery is solely in your hands. Talking about the documentation processes, meeting the guidelines, meeting deadlines, dotting your I's, crossing your T's, ensuring that there's a smooth process to the arrival of the product, or the consignment, the goods. It is solely in your hands. The interesting thing is, none of these four elements can be left unattended to, and then you expect to get 100% results. It is not possible. So it is your responsibility to plan, to organize, direct, control in order to get your desired result. Okay? So, what are the key aspects of materials management? It improves customer satisfaction by guaranteeing that the correct orders are delivered on scheduled time. It is an aspect. Like Mr. Andrew said, all things being equal, you want result. Once everything is put in place, what you get is what is customer satisfaction. Material management makes sure that there is no overstocking or understocking of goods. It also plays a vital role in achieving growth and success of an organization. So material planning, procurement, inventory control, and distribution are some of the key components of materials management. How do you manage your material when you do not have the best distribution network or channel? How do you manage your material when you don't have an effective and efficient inventory control system on ground? How do you manage your material when you do not have a robust procurement system on ground? These are things that make up material management to be result oriented in any organization. Okay, so one of the techniques of material management includes MRP. What do we understand by MRP? Materials Requirements Planning. To elaborate further, MRP, it helps to do what? Inaccurate resource allocation. As the name implies, materials requirement planning. Allocating materials to the right unit. Allocating the right materials to the right center. Meaning that for results to be achieved, the right material, the right quantity, the right quality of material must be allocated to the unit that is concerned with. Let's assume I am the production manager. I have given out the quantity of materials for a particular product based on the demand supplied to me. And then the people in charge, Mr. Andrew says, no, I cannot give you this. This is what I need to give you. I'm giving you 3 bags. However you're going to use it, I don't care. All we want is result. I say, okay, no problems. I collect the 3 bags and I use it. The 3 bags of that material obviously will not give me the desired output that I of resources that I requested for. So for me to get the result, we must work in synergy. We must work together based on information at I told him what he could have done would be, can I see the information at your disposal? Why are you requesting for 10 bags instead of 5? How many orders do we have? What do we want to achieve with this? And once I present it to him, he's able to say, okay, it is in line with the information that I also have. At that point, point in time, we are on the same page. We are able to do what? Achieve organizational goals by doing what? Correctly allocating the right amount, the right quality of materials for my use. Then we talk about enterprise resource planning software. Enterprise resource planning software. Okay, so this enterprise is just an advanced, method, advanced system, a modified method of ERP. And this, it is an advanced system to efficiently manage the business operations. Plus, it accurately helps resource allocation, inventory planning, supply chain operation. It helps to administer production and other resources by providing the required tools. When we talked about MRP, material resource planning, we were only focused on what? On materials allocation. But in ERP, we are taking it what? A bit further. That's where the modification comes in. That is where the advancement comes in. That I'm not only focusing on the material, I'm only equally focusing on every other component that will make that material allocation to be in the right shape. You have given me the material. Mr. Andrew, do you care to know if the tools that I'm using is the right tools for me, for the organization, for the production of these raw materials? Did you care to? The answer is no, because you are only dealing with MRP, neglecting ERP. So how do I function with outdated tools? How do I function with outdated administration, a stereotyped administration? How do I function? So ERP is simply telling us that everything that has to do with the transformation of raw materials into finished goods, the totality of the process is what ERP is talking about. Do we have the right tools? Do we have the right manpower? Is the facility okay? What are the safety measures on ground? What are the safety guidelines? Do we have accident investigative analysis? Do we have risk analysis? Do we even have insurance policies? That is what ERP is all about. Not only dealing with materials, but going ahead to deal with other components. So what are the objectives of materials management? It maximizes, efficiency. When we are able to manage our resources effectively, our materials, it brings about what? Efficiency. We know what we are doing. We reduce wastage as much as possible. Everyone is on top of their games. Okay? The interest of the organization is paramount. Whatever we need to do to ensure that we reduce wastage as much as possible, we do it. And everyone is accountable. Everyone is held responsible for anything that goes right and anything that goes wrong as far as the material management is concerned. So I don't say, hey, I don't know, hey, Mr. Andrew only gave me 5 bars. I don't know what happened to it. I left it here and coming back. That is, you are talking stories, telling us stories. It was in your care. You have to account for it. You are what? Responsible. When you take you have a sense of responsibility over materials, it makes you more efficient. It makes you more efficient in handling and using such. We talk about cost effectiveness. When we are not wasting materials, it's none of my business. After I cannot come and kill myself. Is it my father's business? Anything that happens, they'll buy another one. So I can waste it as much as I want, right? That is a wrong concept. That is a wrong mindset. What I'm doing is that I am, I'm procuring more debt to the organization. What they could have used 50 million for because of my lackadaisical attitude, nonchalant attitude, I don't care attitude. It's not my father's business. It is not my business. Then at the end of the day, the organization will spend more. That should not be the mindset of any employer or employee. We should try as much as possible to be what cost effective, because we'll be able to monitor. Theft will be reduced when you keep it in my custody, and I know the repercussion if anything goes on wrong. I will monitor everything that is going on, how it is being allocated to my sub-unit, because I will give an account as to how it was used. Right? So it monitors the purchases and shipping of materials at affordable rate. This will in turn reduce the overall cost of what? Of operations. Uninterrupted flow of materials. If there is a shortage during the manufacturing process, the cost of production will shoot up. If there is shortage, just like I mentioned before, I needed 10 bags to be able to produce this. And Mr. Andrew said, no, I'm giving you 5. What has he done? He has done what? Increase the cost of production. Because what I would have used 5 hours to complete, 12 hours to complete, I will still use the 12 hours to complete 5 bags, and then come over again and use another 12 hours to complete the remaining 5 bags. That is a waste to the organization. Reliable quality assurance. If the quality is maintained during the entire production process, it will help to retain the customers. It's as simple as that. Quality should not be tampered with. Quality starts from the beginning. It doesn't start from the middle. Neither does it start from the end. It starts from the beginning and it is trailed to the end. With that, there is what? Customer retention. So what are some of the best practices? Use explicit rules for material quality. One of the best practices is what? Use explicit rules for material quality. We say that quality is simply defined as fit for use. If it is not, then it is not. If it should be, then it must be. If you are an organization that believes in quality, it should be the dream. It should be on the lips of every employee of that organization. This is what we believe. This is our rule when it comes to quality. We do not undermine quality. Whatever it's going to take is what we give, is what we do, because we are an organization that believes in quality. Let it be a rule. Let it be a rule. Make smart selection of providers. It is not everybody that should be your supplier. Make smart moves, smart selections. Let the best be your providers. Employ a specialist as materials manager, not somebody that just completed secondary school because you don't want to pay. You are getting somebody that you can overrule, you can shout at, whose opinion doesn't count, whose input doesn't count. you don't want to pay. If you do not pay for professional, for specialists to handle whatever you need to be handled, then whatever is the consequences, you will pay even times two. Get a professional. They can give you advice. They make good suggestions as regards materials handling or management. Pay them well. Don't corners. You are trying to save cost. And somebody that just finished SS3 is the person you are bringing in. You will fail woefully. Use the just-in-time inventory control approach if need be, depending on what your organization believes. If it works for you, use it. Maintain a well-organized warehouse. Let everything be in line. The characteristics of material management. Functions of industrial management, specific process of management, integrated approach, the wide process, and then we talk about the need and importance of material management. The need and importance. Of course, corporate growth center for performance is there. Opportunity for profit improvement. And of course, basis of manufacturing function. The function and scope of material management includes material planning. Mr. Andrew has explained that before. Purchasing and procurement, we have dealt with this. So what are some of the problems that is associated with materials management? Mr. Andrew, please, can you tell us one of the problems associated with material management in your own understanding?
Thank you, sir. In my own understandings, one of the problems that is associated to material management is the issue of delay. For example, the warehouse manager is not organized and there's a consignment coming in and the warehouse is not properly arranged to receive the consignment, you end up having demorages on consignment. For example, the delay in returning back your container, the transporter has to wait to return the container if the container is to be on the truck. And also another issue of challenges is theft. When the warehouse manager does not properly manage his warehouse, you have the issue of Mr. Akman going home with one of the company's products. It can be raw material or finished goods. So the challenges is theft, and also when the warehouse manager does not really manage the warehouse well, you will keep having issue of expired or outdated stock, because one of the jobs of the warehouse is to go around, check physically and also on the system, on the ERP, to check for products that are going outdated, to inform the management, no, we need to send these goods out now, or we need to reproduce these goods as as a means of reproduction. There are some production outfits that when their item is about going expired, they mix it up with another new um, um, materials to produce another item or product. So one of the jobs of the challenges is when the warehouse manager is not properly informed and trained for the job, you keep having issues of expired items, products, and goods. Thank you, sir. I don't know if I've lit up the point, sir.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Any other person, please? Any other person? Any other contributor? Any other contributor? Oh, wow, this is serious. Okay, so just like you mentioned, one of the challenges could be theft. You know, back then, while we were in the boarding house, one of my aunties was, you know, I was schooling in Command Secondary School as a boarder, but with military background, we always carry work every day. So at the end, sometimes she works in the kitchen. We will just come to the house like this. We'll just see like 5 packs of Maggi. We'll just see like we'll see like 4 liters of palm oil, groundnut oil, beans, rice. We'll be wondering, what is going on? One of the days we asked is, we said, Auntie, we see that whenever we come to them, we always see all of these things. Auntie, is it not our food from the hostel that you people normally pack? He said, they gave us, so it's not that we stole it, so they gave us, so, and all of that. Now, why am I bringing this scenario? We are talking about material management. Do you know that the school spend more on a weekly basis to get food for all students, not knowing that every week, in fact, on a daily basis, that the people that are cooking there are going home with all manner of materials that could have been used the next day. The same thing is applicable to other industries. That's the reason organizations that believe in technology, as you are going in, you are being screened, you are being searched electronically, so that you dare not carry anything and put inside your apron or your trouser. Your manager will see wherever he is through the CCTV. That is technology. So this is what a major challenge. The material manager was not well trained to put eyes on all of this. They say, Paddy is my person now. Yeah, just give you 1 pack of Maggi. Hey, yeah, he said he doesn't have sugar in the house. Give her 1 pack of sugar at the expense of the organization. That is what a challenge. Problem with regards to design and specification could also be a challenge. Ambiguity in drawing, tolerance and precise workmanship. When a consumer begins to give you a particular design, a particular spec of what he wants, it becomes a challenge to the organization if they are not flexible in nature. It becomes a challenge. Okay? We talk about lead time. The time that you have to use from when the product was ordered to the point of production and when it is. What is the time injected into it? So any industrial unit in India is to take sufficient time in determining the requirement, making choice of suppliers and placing orders. But once orders are placed, the industrial unit do not want to allow sufficient time to its suppliers, and they want to get the material at their doorstep as quickly as possible. I have paid. Say, I've just placed order, I want it in the next 5 minutes. Hello, that is not how it works. It could be a challenge. You placed an order. You are not sure if we are flexible, if we have the manpower, if we have the tools, if we have the material available. That can also be what a challenge. When a customer pays for a particular service or good, PM, they want it instant, no excuse. That's why flexibility is important. We talk about staff problem. Staff problem. Are they trained? Are your staff rigid? This is what we know how to do. Me, I cannot do any other thing. This is what I was asked to do. This is what my organizer should do. I cannot do. No room for improvement. No room for flexibility. No room to try new things. No room for innovation. Right? It becomes very difficult because you may not have what enough staff that will be able to get into action to get the product the way it should be. So what are the best practices in use clear guidelines for material quality? We said that before. Pick suppliers strategically. Have a dedicated material manager, not a thief, but someone that has the interest of the organization at heart. Have an ordered warehouse. Like Mr. Andrew said, if you have a warehouse that is not well kept, you won't even know when product get expired. You won't even know which product came in first and which one should go last and vice versa. But when you have an ordered warehouse, everything is done in a way that is standard. Then you get results. Complete frequent reviews. If there's any issue, let it be, visited as soon as possible. Collect feedbacks, analyze feedbacks, provide solution to feedbacks. Don't think you are doing it, you are the champion in your own space, whereas your customers have all left you. But you still believe you are the champion. Why? Because you are not ready to listen to feedbacks. Use MRP softwares. It's very important. Use MRP softwares in order for you to get your result. So we look at logistic information technology. Mr. Andrew, any idea on logistic information technology, what it means to you or what you understand by it?
No
Mr.
idea, sir.
Andrew?
No idea, sir.
Sir?
No
Okay.
idea, sir.
All right. Thank you. Logistics information technology. You have, Mr. Lawrence, Andrew, you have mentioned ERP software. That is technology. You have mentioned automation. That is technology. You have mentioned scanning. That is technology. You've mentioned barcode. All those are what are technology. So if I'm sending my driver out, if we are supplying goods, if the consignment is on the IC, the consignment is in other parts of the country, what software, what technology can I use to track the movement of the consignment, the progress of the consignment? This is what we're talking about. Okay, so we look at here supply chain management, the relationship, the link, the association. Talking about the inventory, you look at the plan, you look at the logistics, the manufacturer, the retail, customer, the profit, and what the procurement. When we talk about inventory or logistic information technology, We are simply talking about the technological aspect that links the whole process together. That anything that happens here, the other beneficiary is on the know. Whatever this person is doing, the other person is okay. For example, we talk about the inventory. With having an effective and efficient system on ground, we have already known, okay, this is what we have. With that, we can have what? An effective plan, right? We can have an effective plan. Okay, we have materials available. How do we ensure that the information passes from one person to another unhindered, unhindered, unhindered? From the plan, we now have what? The manufacture to logistics. It is now to the retail. The information is passing from one aspect to another, from one element, from one section to another, meaning that the free flow of information cannot and should not be kept away from a particular unit. Let's say, for example, Mr. Andrew has placed an order, and within us, we know that the time that Mr. Andrew has placed this order, we will not be able to meet the order. Why do we go mute? Why do we go silent? What it entails is communication. What form of communication are we looking at? What is the fastest way of communicating to Mr. Andrew to ensuring or telling him that the time allocated to us may not be visible? However, we will do everything within our reach to meet up with that time. Does he answer to mails? Is he somebody that sleeps by 2 a.m. like the president of Nigeria? I heard he sleeps between 2 to 3 a.m. Do they know what time I sleep? Do they know what time Mr. Andrew sleep or any other person? So will he be able to read mails at that time? What if I put a call through to him? Is this somebody that receives call? What time does he receive calls? These are what mediums, channels, avenues to having what? An effective communication as far as logistics is concerned. Because the movement of the information must be swift. It must get to the end user. Hey, Mr. Man, we just realized that we have 5 to 15 bags of raw materials in the warehouse. That is what the inventory manager just told us. Okay, how do we plan? What do we have? How can we do this? The manufacturers begin to. The production department swift into action. The next thing, it is, oh, we are done. The warehouse, oh, do we have facility? Do we need to decongest? Are there materials that need to be recycled or thrown away? What communication is very important. A huge advance in information technology has already taken place in all industries, including changes in the logistics and supply chain. A fast data transfer is a result of information technology in supply chain management, resulting in increased cooperation. Data transfer, information. I've just hinted the production department that information getting to me from the inventory manager is that we have XYZ quantity of materials. I have transferred that information as swift as possible. As swift as possible to what? To the production department. That is what information technology is all about. The swift flow dissemination of information from one channel to another. So supply chain management is concerned with the flow of products and information. I just mentioned that. Between supply chain members, organization. Mr. Andrew is in Abuja. I am in Lagos. Mr. Sule is in Sokoto. Mr. Ahmad is in Kaduna. These are what my supply chain members. For us to work efficiently, we need to do what? Disseminate information as swift as what as possible. The different roles in IT technology, in logistics and supply chain, electronic commerce. Talking about email, electronic fund transfers, electronic publishing. There are places you go today, they don't receive cash. It's electronic transfer. Either you use your mobile app or use their POS. That is commerce. That is what technology in place. So many organizations in time to come will not even be dealing with physical cash anymore. To avoid thefts, to avoid robbery, to avoid any unforeseen circumstances, what they believe in is what e-commerce. I don't need to see Mr. Andrew before I can transact business with him. I can do that seamlessly using what? Technology. We can share ideas using what? Technology. I can, for example, the slide that I'm sharing with you people is technology. The slides I'm sharing is what? Is technology. Then we talk about electronic data interchange. It describes both the capability and practice of what? Communicating information between two organizations electronically instead of traditional form of mail, courier, or fax. Electronic interchange. The benefit of EDI, quick process to information. Quick process to information, better customer service, optimize paperwork, less paperwork. There comes a time that every organization will go paperless. Why? Because of EDI. Increase productivity, improve tracing and expediting. I can trace, you don't need to tell me, I don't think I was the one. No, you were the one. It is traceable. Then cost efficiency. So the different roles continues. We talk about barcodes and scanners. Most organizations make use of what? Barcodes and scanners. You walk into the mall, you walk into the supermarket, most of the products there have codes. Most of the products there are being scanned. So they know what has gone out and what has come in, or what is remaining. These are what? Technology. Then stock keeping unit. The stock keeping unit. Talk about the automated identification and data capture. All of these are technologies that organizations use in one point or the other. The effect of information technology in supply chain management cannot be mentioned. That can be mentioned are improving operation relationship in internal and external dimensions, increasing responsibility, creating new relationship and with customer and identify their needs, developing sales channels, improving performance, and ultimately improving the competitive position of the chain. So technology is very important. What are some of the advantages? It improves communication. It increased productivity, right? It brings about cost savings. You have access to information. You have access to information to enable you make decisions when needed. Security risks. Storing your information in a place that is secured prevents the organization from exposing themselves to risks. Even if you store materials or information on your phone and your phone gets bad, you can retrieve it back through, if only you store in iCloud. You can retrieve any information that you want. It is there. So it brings about your safety. Somebody can boggle in, collect your laptop, burn the whole system on ground. With a twinkle of an eye, you can retrieve all the information that you once stored. Dependence on technology. As technology becomes increasingly integrated into our daily lives, it can lead to over-reliance on technology and lack of knowledge and skills. People begin to, have lazy attitude towards it. They don't just leave it there. They don't want to be committed to things again because technology has come in. It is expensive. One of the disadvantages of information technology is that it is expensive. For you to get your results, you must be ready to do what? You must be ready to invest heavily. A case study of Domino Pizza gives us a simple analysis as to how information technology can be beneficiary to an organization. Domino's Pizza, the world's oldest and largest pizza chain, experienced a decline in popularity during the 2000s. However, the company underwent a remarkable transformation by introducing online and mobile ordering systems such as Pizza Builder, Pizza Tracker, Domino's Tracker, and Domino's Anyway. This digital ordering platform led to an impressive 80% increase in the company's revenue. Furthermore, their market share grew from 1.6% to the global quick service restaurant in 2019 to 2.2% in 2021. Domino's success is truly inspiring story of brand development and product reinvention through the use of IT techniques to enhance productivity, customer service, and revenue. So, in 2021, Domino's economic earnings reached a substantial 627 million US dollars. Why? The introduction of information technology. Your company, your organization can take advantage of this and see how it will turn the revenue of that organization around. Domino is a case study. It's an example. It's an example. You can stay in your house, order pizza, it will be delivered at your doorsteps. That is what technology. Order is done online. You can put a call and place your order. You can go to the website, place an order. It will be delivered just the way you requested. That is technology. The future of information technology. The future of information technology. As the years keeps going, we understand that IT is almost taking over all aspects, all areas of business. We've heard that in 2030, the use of robots will be everywhere. So what humans were doing before, a lot of people will begin to lose their job. Why? IT is taking the center stage. It is important that people begin to look for another source of livelihood, even right now that it has not happened. Because when it does, eventually, it will be like in those years, all the typists, all those people that were doing shorthand, where are they today? All those people that were using typewriter, where are they today? All those people that were using Pentium 1, Pentium 2, desktop computers, where are they today? The advent of IT has relegated a whole lot of people to the back. So will it also affect businesses? The question is, how prepared are we to invest in technology to take our businesses to a more safe condition? So in conclusion, information technology has revolutionized what the way we communicate. It has done what? Revolutionized the way we work, the way we live. Everything has become more simpler for us. Works are no longer, difficult. With the use of AI, you can do whatever you want to do. AI can transcribe. You don't need to start typing. Just speak. Just speak. AI will translate everything. That is technology. The most common disadvantage includes threats to cybersecurity, privacy protection, and job loss. Most importantly, job loss. Job loss. We have to take advantage of this and get to what we want to. Logistics financial performance is the achievement of the company's financial performance for a certain period, covering the collection and allocation of finance measured by capital adequacy, liquidity, solvency, efficiency, leverage, and profitability. So a key part of successful logistics strategy involves the ability to measure logistics performance. After all, if you don't know how well what you're doing is working, then you could be unwittingly investing in losing a strategy in perpetuity. As far as logistics is concerned, we must what? Measure logistics performance. How well are we doing? We want to know what we are doing, if it's actually working. If it is working, what is the profitability of what, end quote, that is working? Then if the reverse is the case, then it means that we are not doing anything. So, Mr. Andrew, please, one more time. No, you are the only participant in my class today. So I'm glad I'm working with you. At least you are making my job easier for me. Thank you. Thank you. So let's look at poor, fair, good, and excellent. At what point will you say that a logistic and supply chain company has gotten to this level of good when it comes to finance? When it comes to financial performance, at what point will you say it is good? And if you say that it is good, how does it affect the organization? How does it affect the organization? Mr. Andrew?
Wow, thank you, sir. This is a real technical question. At what point can one ascertain that the logistics financial performance of a company is of good and
Yes,
excellent? I think
yes,
at the point whereby it's 100%, whereby the the goods or services has been delivered 100%, delivered in a safe and according to the prescribed order. So I think that at that point it's where you can rate either good or excellent. I don't know if I've answered the question, sir.
okay. So how will it affect the organization?
It will affect the organization because a lot of factors have been involved in terms of time, in terms of the time involved, and in terms of the resources involved, in terms of, for example, cost of moving the item from the point of origin to the point of destination, and also the cost of insurance, ensuring that the goods or services are being insured. So I think it's going to impact the company financially at the point whereby it's 100% delivered.
Okay, thank you very much. Do I have any other person that wants to contribute? Do I have any other person that wants to contribute?
Yes.
Mr.
I
Falabi? Ah, thank God. Oh. Ekabo. Okay, we are listening, sir.
okay, sir. I want to say that a situation whereby an organization can be able to be in it alone
Very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so when we are looking at this has to do with finance of an organization. If they are actually, we want to look at it from the perspective of, let's say, for example, an individual. We want to know if you are rich, if you are poor, if you have, okay, if you are wealthy, if you have financial freedom, if you have financial stability, and you have financial freedom. These levels, I can be wealthy, but I do not have financial freedom. Mr. Andrew, is it true or false that I can be wealthy, but I do not have financial freedom?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So also an organization. You can see some of the organization, oh, they are doing well from the outside, but when you go inside, for that that 1 year of their financial financial state, they are recording losses. But on the outside, the organization is looking so touched. The paint that they're even using for their office is very captivating. You see the staff, they are wearing suits, they are wearing high heels, cars are coming in, going out. But for that 1 year of financial operation or business, they were recording what? Losses. So we are looking at a logistic company that is not only wealthy, but that has what? Financial excellence, financial freedom, where you can reinvest from the proceeds of the profits that you made. That in a certain year, you are not living based on your profits for the sales of goods or materials. You are living based on the dividends that is coming into your organization as a result of the previous investment. So, how do we get there? The only way that we can get to that level is when we must have deployed all the requirement, the elements that will help us to getting there. Like the last person said, deploying all forms of technology, having a functional inventory system, putting customers as priority, doing the right thing that we are supposed to do at the right time in order to get the desired results. With that, a company that involves itself in all of this can get to a state of what? Excellence. When you are in a state of poor, that is a state of insolvency. When you are in a state of fair, that is a state where you owe your staff 3 months' salaries and they are working. The 4th month, you pay for 1 month and you carry over another 3 to 4 months. You are just struggling. You are just struggling. Why? You have not put to use things that you are supposed to. And then when we say you are good, fine, you can pay salaries, but promotion sometimes does not come with incentives. There is no declaration of profit, no sharing of what? Profit. Why? What we have, we just want to keep it. We don't know how tomorrow is going to look like. You know, suppliers, we are still doing this. We are trying to see how we can pay off state of financial excellence. That is where the company is at rest. You are paying salaries as at when due. Promotion comes with incentives. People are sent for training. That is what every organization should strive to achieve. Even as logistics company, even as supply chain company, what we are doing is setting ourselves ahead of the future so that we can get the desired result as it is obtainable out there. Okay? How do you measure cost, reliability, service level, environmental impact, and more? KPIs can cover more than one of these areas simultaneously, but regardless, they are useful in establishing standards, not only to measure internally, but against others as well. Which area are we doing well? Should we consolidate on this area? Why should we invest more in this area? This other area that is not doing well, what should we do? Should we give more time, give it all it takes, give it all the support necessary? What if we give all the support and it still doesn't give us the desired result, output? What do we do? Should we scrap it? Should we, a lot of questions. These are what KPIs. What is our cost? The implication of our cost. Does it have positive impact or negative impact? What is the level of our service, level? Is our service level robust? Is our service level reliable? These are what different KPIs that you can measure and you begin to see where you are doing it. They will look at human resource and what? Logistics. Of course, work is done. The meaning of human resource or definition is simply getting work done through people. Nothing is done without the use of humans. How well are the humans treated within the organization? How well are they, integrated into the system? It involves managing people from hiring and training to performance evaluation and retention. Logistics, on the other hand, deals with the management of physical resources that are required to run the organization, including transportation, storage, and distribution. It is the human that you use for what? Transportation, storage. It is the human that sees through what? Distribution. Do you hire the best hand for the best job, or for the job rather, or you are hiring the wrong hand for the job? Do they have their job specification, job analysis? What are the policies of the organization that they've been introduced into? Was anything done like onboarding? Why should they be trained? Some people say I cannot train my staff because when I train them, they will run away. You cannot have such a notion as a business person and expect to grow in that organization. No way. Because as things change every day, they need also to change along. They need to be carried along to the change. So an effective human resource strategy is necessary for any organization to succeed. The hiring process should be designed to attract the best talent, not based on sentiment. The training program should be in place to ensure that employees are equipped with the skills and knowledge required for the job. There must be training. It could be on the job training. It could be expertise training and what have you. So we look at some of the formal classification of human resource management that can distinguish between administrative function, planning related, informational, finance, legal, and all of that. So, HRM practices in logistics, knowledge-based recruitment, training and development, motivation. These are very key in logistics industry. It is very pathetic the way employers of labor uses their employees. And what surprises me the most is the concept of, after all, you are being paid. After all, I'm paying you. You are paying me, but let's quantify it. I give you 12 hours of my life every day. 12 hours. I get back home useless to myself. All I do is just enter the bed, sleep. I do that week in, week out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. And I've been able to spend like 15, 10 years in the organization. I have not been able to do anything for myself. But the little I know, I have used for your organization and it is growing. And you are saying that after all, I'm paying you. That is a very wrong concept that gets employees infuriated sometimes, that they begin to change towards the organization. If you don't have any other soothing words to use, just keep quiet. You are paying me, and so what? But I'm giving you my time. Your money and my time, which is the most valued, it is my time. So we say that knowledge-based view of the firm's asset and organizational performance is derived from what a firm's knowledge-related resources and capabilities. We are simply looking at human resources as the key drivers of organizational performance. When you come to that realization that you can achieve nothing without the people, these are the drivers. Your trust cannot move from where it is to another state. It can only be moved by an individual. Documentation of projects cannot be done without an individual. That's exactly what we are talking about, the knowledge base. Okay, so HRM, a management approach that focuses on organizations' employees, is integral to organization. Okay, knowledge-based HRM practices are tailored to enhance knowledge creation, sharing, and utilization of an organization. We are simply saying when an individual comes to an organization through undergoing all the processes of recruitment, selection, interview, both oral, physical, and what have you. The first thing is for the person to be given an orientation as to what the organization believes, to understand the organizational culture, to understand the organizational goals and objectives. It is what I understand that I run with. It is the orientation that I'm given that will give me an insight as to what the organization expects from me and what I also expect from the organization. Right? So, part of the challenges that we have in logistics, as far as HRM is concerned, is that most times we want to cut corners. We want to cut corners. I'm a professional. I come to you. This is what I do. I say, how much are you looking at? I say, okay, for a start, 250 is okay by me. 250. In your mind, if I'm to pay him 250, that's 150,000 that he wants to collect alone. I can get 6 people and pay them 25,000. That is what comes to your mind. You have forgotten the useful ideas that I'm coming with. You have forgotten my technical know-how that I'm coming with. You have forgotten my expertise that I'm coming with. You have forgotten what I don't know what to say. What good things that I'm coming to the organization to inject, to move the organization from where it is to where it should be. You are looking at getting the wrong people for the job because you want to pay peanuts. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. The logistic industry plays a vital role in the economy worldwide. It directly impacts the profit of many businesses across other sectors that need the services to transport their products and materials. The industry, like many others, has its share of challenges. No organization is without their fair share of challenges. One is retention of workers. Like I said, people are afraid to spend money and train their staff because they have this notion that once I train them, they will leave. But do you know something? That organizations that move forward are not the organizations that hire and fire. Organizations that specializes in hiring and firing do not move forward. Why? Individually settle and then give is. But when you have people that have been there, they understand the organization in and out, it takes them little time to produce results. So the retention of workers has been challenging for the logistics industry, according to reports by the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, due to various reasons such as work-life balance conflict, heavy overload, and other work-related issues. The quit rate among workers in the industry has overwhelmingly increased in 2021. To rise from this, a company can consider giving incentives to the workers to motivate the existing ones and those who want to apply. Why would there be retention of workers when the employer doesn't care about the welfare of the staff? When there's no motivation, your safety is not guaranteed. Everybody that lives out in the morning, wakes up, goes to work, one thing that goes through the mind is, as I'm living healthy, I want to come back healthy. But how many employers of labor put that in mind? If I see a place that is better, I move. If you appreciate my being there, you do the right thing. Let my welfare be paramount to you. Let my safety be paramount to you. What do I mean to your organization? Is it just to come, work, and I go, come, work, and I go? I mean nothing to you. I cannot come to you for maybe salary increase. I cannot come to you for a loan. You say, hey, you see, actually, the company is not actually making profits. You see, you know how it's going. Sales is not booming. Tomorrow you tell me, hey, Mr. Gabriel, please take my daughter to slot. She wants to buy iPhone 14. I mean iPhone 15 Pro Max. How much? 2.5 million. But I only asked you, sir, for a loan of 100,000, and you gave me all the stories. At that point in time, how do you want me to feel? At that point in time, seeing how you are doing, you think I'll give you my best? The answer is no. I can never give you my best because I see that you are not treating me well. So, motivation is an aspect in logistics. In HR, we say that as far as motivation is concerned, it is in your position to be sensitive to what motivates an individual. What motivates Mr. Andrew may not necessarily motivate me. What motivates me now may not motivate Mr. Andrew based on his status, based on his connection, based on who he is in the society. It may not motivate him. Don't say, for instance, end of the year party, you say, hey, Mr. Andrew, oh, you've been an hardworking staff, just to appreciate you for what you have done for the year, we are giving you one bag of rice. Excuse me, one bag of rice to Mr. Andrew. Is that a source of motivation? Okay, you want him next year when he comes back, you now work ×3. It cannot motivate him. It will be an insult to him. But that same one bag of rice, give it to a cleaner that is collecting 30 to 40,000 naira a month. It's a source of motivation to that person. Why? Because of different levels, because of different status in life. So it takes a manager that is sensitive to understand what motivates an individual and what does not motivate an individual. Most times in your organization, when you walk past and you maybe your subordinates that are, very low in rank, you just tell them, hey guys, your lunch on me today. What is their expression? How do they feel? There's a meeting going on. You say, okay, this meeting is for everybody in this organization, irrespective of your department. Whether you're a cleaner, whether you're a security person, everybody is there. How does that impact them? It gives them a sense of belonging. That is motivation. in a way to them. It may not mean anything to you, but to them it means something. So, for you to retain staff, for you to retain workers, motivation is paramount. Motivation is key. There should be incentives, no matter how small. At the end of the year, a bag of rice to be shared by 3 people is not a bad thing. Let them feel that they are working for someone, and this person appreciates their effort, no matter how little it is. It is important. Working in the logistics industry is considered not worthwhile. You know, there's some work that you do. They just say you are working in a logistics. Hey, common logistics man like you are sleeping on the road. They downplay your position. Why? Because they've not been able to furnish your position to be enticing, to look more lucrative, to look more, standard. People just look and say, oh, this one, logistics. I beg you. Why? Some people view truck driving, for instance, as a job that needs a lot of sacrifice, including being away from family and friends for a long time. Yet, the paycheck does not reflect an appreciation for such sacrifices and efforts. You are driving, leaving your families, sometimes 3 days, sometimes a week. At the end of the month, 120,000. And somebody that is even sweeping as maybe in a corporate organization collects 80,000 as a cleaner. Plus all the stress that you are putting in, it doesn't reflect. So the HR department should consider rebranding to establish career path by introducing promotion, example, from warehouse workers to managers. I can come in as a truck driver, but over time, I am regarded as the chief truck driver. Over time, I am regarded as maybe a chief logistician. Over time, I am promoted from there to, it gives a sense of purpose. Poor communication. Poor communication is another challenge. Falling out of compliance. Several government regulations here and there, and sometimes you don't have the capacity to comply, wholesomely. The logistics industry must adhere to several government regulations, including the employment and remuneration processes. They know the painful parties. Most of these employers of labor, they understand what this remuneration processes is, but they will never adhere to it because they know that government does not, supervise anything. Say, is it government that gave me money to start business? I paid who I want to pay. But without government regulation, without government approval, you cannot work. So falling out of compliance is then company culture. We said that HR manager can create a welcoming company culture by ensuring proper communication between the workers and the supervisors. They should also get into the habit of appreciating workers and recognizing when they do well. You don't recognize when they do not do well, also recognize when they do well. A little appreciation. It can just be during the meeting. We just stand somebody out. Let's give him a round of applause. Everybody begins to clap for the person. It is an appreciation. You don't need to buy a car. You don't need to buy private jet. You don't need to go send the person on vacation. If the need be, you can do that. If you have capacity, you can do that. But little things matter a lot. The HR manager must ensure that this is done. Sometimes birthday appreciation, maybe every last day of the month, they assemble all the people that celebrated their birthday in that month, just cut cake with them, buy drinks, everybody celebrate. It is something. We can decide to go for movie seeing. We can decide to go to watch football match. We can decide to go to maybe picnic, just anything that will make the bonding to be in line. That is what the HR manager should do. Company's culture. Safety of workers. We have said that before. The safety of workers is an essential factor in the logistics industry, considering that most of the drivers are older men whose immunity may not be as strong. Let somebody be placed that is still agile, not somebody that is having blurry sight, is not seeing well. And you say, if we don't give him the job, how will he feed with his family? He's the breadwinner. Let's give him the job. You are jeopardizing his safety. You are risking his life and that of his family. It is better not to give him that job and protect him than to give him the job and kill him faster. Safety is important. Companies should ensure that their drivers are well taken care of in terms of their health and safety. They should be provided with the protective gear required. Once in a while, maybe on a monthly or quarterly, they should go for eye check, go for BP check. All this is to ensure that their health is intact for the job assigned to them. Find out to know how are they coping in their family. Somebody that just quarreled with the wife, a nagging wife, they've just fought over the night, and you put him on the road to go to long distance, he might lose his mind. A call from the wife might just come in, and before you know it, accident occurs. Find out to know if he is in the right frame of mind to embark on that trip or not. It is your responsibility. Unfavorable work schedule. Unfavorable work schedule. For instance, the manufacturing company will require goods delivered within a set limit time. This means that the driver has to sacrifice to work for a more extended period in time to meet the deadline. Sometimes when you see all these logistics bikers on the road, you ask yourself, do these guys have second lives at home? Do they have duplicate life at home? Why? The way they ride this bike, like they don't have hope, they don't have future. They are doing this why? There's a target. They want to meet target. That is pressure on them by the organization. Within today, you must deliver to 20 different customers, and you see them enter the road and drive like madmen. Madmen. Sometimes you see them on the road hit by bikes, cars, their legs removed, sometimes their heads removed. Why? The undue pressure that they are in. Unfavorable work schedule, they want to meet targets, exposing them to danger. That should be avoided. Inadequate training. For every person, every staff that comes to an organization must be well trained to take up a particular duty, to take up a particular assignment. They must be well trained. Sometimes I've been driving for the past 20 years. It's inconsequential. You still have to subject yourself to more training. What do you know about road codes? What do you know about road signs? You don't. What do you know about organizational ethics? What do you know about organizational culture, structure? What do you know about organizational standards? You see, I've worked in 5 different companies. And so when you come to our own company, you are subject to what? Reorientation, training, and retraining. That is the only way that you can give your best. Choose the right HR management strategy. Which one works for you? Are you staff oriented? Are you material oriented? Which one works for you? You choose carefully. Which rewards employees for meeting KPIs target? A strategy which rewards people on the basis of behavior rather than outcomes. A development focused strategy which rewards employees for actively pursuing their own skills development. Whichever strategy is chosen, personnel management and performance-based remuneration will need to be based on clearly defined goals and matrices. So you choose that. Keeping logistics workforce on track. To ensure your logistics workforce HR strategy is executed successfully, the following steps, which are omitted surprisingly often even by companies professing to invest in their people, must be implementation of performance matrices, secure management and workforce buy-in. So many companies make the mistake of implementing matrices without talking to those whose performance will be measured. KPIs will be worthless if your manager and staff don't see them as realistic and achievable, and more worthless if nobody understands them. It is imperative, it is important that we understand the impact of HR in an organization. Like we said, you are working with people. Whatever you achieve as an organization is only done by people. Hence, the people should be treated well to give the best that they have. Otherwise, you keep changing staff, workers every week, and that forestall the movement, the advancement of the organization. Okay, okay. Well, human resource management is my key area. I facilitate for some companies in-house training as far as human resource management is concerned, because this is an area that has been totally ignored. Totally ignored. Somebody said something to me. Just imagine somebody worked in an organization for 7 years. The person is due for promotion. This is the person that does virtually everything in the organization. It's more or less like the jack in that place. Another colleague of his went to the HR and said, man, but this person is due for promotion now. He said, promote what? You want to promote him. If you promote him, who is going to do all the work that he has been doing? In other words, this person can stay here for the next 10 years doing the same thing without salary raise, without having hope of moving forward in life. And at the end of the day, they will throw him out when they must have finished using him completely and see that we have drained him. He has nothing to offer anymore. They will tell you, based on the organization has seen in recent times that you are not coordinated anymore, this and this, your services is no longer needed. It is absolutely insane, absurd that people in 21st century still deal with humans like this within their organization. If you think I'm not good, why don't you go and bring your children to come and work? If you think it's easy, bring your family, bring your wife, let her resume there by 5, 6 a.m. every day. Bring your children, let them come and work and make the money. It's unfortunate, but I believe with this, we'll be able to see that to get results, workers must be given priority, top priority. Apart from your machine, your money, your facility, your material, the number one priority is human. Number one priority is human. Any question, please? Any question, please?
No
Any
questions, sir. You're doing well, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So, um, so the steps outlined above can help your HR team to play its part in a successful supply chain. While there is no doubt that technology is a key enabler for supply chain success, the best IT applications are impotent without a logistics workforce to manage and operate them. Go and bring the robot. It is somebody that will still do one or two things there. Your computer cannot operate by itself. So by applying an HR management strategy to, incentivize and engage logistics team, your company can maintain an edge over its competitors, many of whom become increasingly reliant on IT as a supply chain panacea. There are organizations that people want to be there. Why? Because things are happening. Just last 2 months ago, I was consulted by an organization to come have a review of the operations. When I got there, surprisingly, this company do not have water for staff to drink. Staff buy their water. When there is no light, they cannot turn on the gen. They buy units, maybe 500 or 1,000 per day. Once the light is finished, just unzip your clothes, unbutton, and begin to find yourself in an organization that makes averagely on a daily basis 50 million naira on a daily basis. They don't have water to drink. The cleaners there fetch water from backyard upstairs to the toilet. Nothing. It is only when the oga wants to come to the office, they turn on the Mikado, and the whole place will be as cold as a mortuary. Once he leaves like this, they turn it off. I ask myself, how did these people get to this place? How did they get to this level? That staff welfare is not a priority. They are not accessible to loan. They don't have all the banks in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. You see, managing people is not a function of whether you have money. Treating people well is not a function of whether you are well read or you are well exposed. If it is in you, it is in you. If it is not in you, forget it. You can be the billionaire of this country, yet you don't put premium on people. They don't matter to you. You believe that whatever you've achieved, it is because of your money. And when I went there, I wrote a report to the management and I said, these were my observations, that it is unethical. It is against federal government rules and regulations. It is against labor law. It is against labor law that if this is not addressed, that they should expect to be visited by the court. Do you know that after 2 weeks, one of these things were put in place? And I asked myself, so they have what it takes to put all these things in place, and yet they refuse to. That's why I said it's not a function of whether you have money, it is a function of you. If you have people, if you are people oriented, it will be evident. If you are not people oriented, it will equally be evident. You cannot hide it. How can I be in an organization and buy my water to drink? I'm sweating like Christmas goat. I cannot be in problem and then apply for a loan, a soft loan of 100,000 or 200K, and I'm working there. No, it's not done. It's not done. So this is what we are bringing on board, and it is our belief that we may be working for people now, but in the long run, we'll have our own companies and we'll begin to integrate all of this that we have learned and give business a different outlook that people will see and begin to, whoa, this is how business environment should be run. Any question? Any question? Any question? Before we call any contribution, Mr. Andrew, I want you to contribute. It's like this HR, this thing is really touching you. It's touching you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your time and for the things putting all this together. I love the aspects whereby you were talking about the HR, talking about how a company has to um, take its workforce paramount, their welfare. Because looking at from where I was coming from and from other companies I see around and I hear about, it's obvious that a lot of Nigerian companies, especially an individual company, a one-man business, it amazes me the way they take care of their workers, their staff welfare. You can imagine the example you just set now, talking about a company whereby how much is water that they cannot provide for their staff, and you will see another organization carrying out lectures and information telling them the importance of their staff consuming enough water on a daily basis. So it's like during the course of you sharing this, I come to a conclusion. I came to a conclusion that how far a company will go depends on how they take care of they prioritize their workforce welfare. That would determine how far they go. Like for my own company, for example, as you were talking, I was just meditating and I saw the way my MD chief executive takes care of his workers. The one I could just recall was 2 weeks ago. we had 5 of our staff who went to Ekiti. He had a function in Ekiti, and he had 3 drivers and his personal assistant. These guys went to Ekiti with their allowance, at least for every outstation. There's an allowance attached to it per day for their hotels and accommodation and feeding. But it amazed me the way he treated those guys, and which brought about the sense of belonging you talked about. These guys were paid 5 days allowance, 5 nights allowance plus feeding from the office. And upon getting to Ekiti, the MD single-handedly paid for their hotel for those 5 nights. He told them not to touch their allowance. And they were there, he was feeding them, both his workforce and the police escorts that went with them. They said they got about 8 to 10 rooms hotel, which he paid for the 5 nights. And upon coming back again after 5 nights, he still requested that the accountant should pay them the sum of 100,000 naira each as compensation and the job well done while they were in Ekiti. So when you were talking, I was like, this is how it should be, a standard company. These guys, give or take, I know someone who said he did not touch his allowance. An allowance of 125,000 you did not touch, and they still gave you 100,000 extra, which is a form of compensation and encouragement to do more. So that gave me that ideology that how a company will go far in the area of how a company will go far determines the welfare package he has for his or her staff. Because I saw some of these drivers who were always involved in some form of fraud. Okay, go and pump tire. They will say tire is 4,000. Since they came back, they stopped all this as a result of that little appreciation that was given to them. So to me, I think it makes sense with all this you have said, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. I knew you were going to share something very insightful. Thank you very much. Any other person? Okay, in the absence of none, it's been an interesting 4 weeks. It's been an interesting 4 weeks. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for having me. I have about 4 case study questions that I wanted us to treat, but unfortunately, I was only talking to myself and then Mr. Andrew. I thought it was going to be a live sharing experiences and all that, but nobody seemed to be speaking. So I'm going away with my 4 case study. It will not be shared, unfortunately. I will not share it. Okay. So I have delivered what I had in mind to deliver, and these are the topics that we had so far. So thank you very much for your time. I'll ask the organizer if they can be training just for human resources management, even if it is a day or 2 days for interested participants, human resources management, because we definitely will need it. We definitely will need it. If you are starting your organization,
Yes,
your company, you may not be able to, have the services of a professional HR manager, but you can start by yourself, pending when the company stabilizes and you have the capacity to get the services of a professional HR manager. So I'll speak with them to see how they can organize that only for people that will be interested. So once again, thank you very much for your time. To the organizers, thank you. Mr. Andrew in particular, thank you
thank you so
very
much,
much
sir.
for not leaving me behind to talk to myself alone. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
I
you.
appreciate
We
it.
really appreciate you more, sir. So regarding the HR training, I'm showing interest in it. Why? Because my organization, we lack the services of a competent HR manager. Our HR manager is about 72 years, and the likes of we, the younger ones, are the ones taking over responsibility. So I need to be more informed about HR. And also, lately, if you will agree with me, most of the procurement roles in Nigeria now are usually merged with maybe procurement and admin, procurement and HR. So I think I need to go into the line of HR. So I'm interested in this, sir. Thank you so much for this idea, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Friday. Thank you, Mr. Friday. Thank you. Thank you. That was a wonderful one. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our professional diploma in logistic management. I believe we learned a lot. I did. I learned a lot too. I want to bring to our notice that those of us that are yet to balance up to pay for the balance of the certificate, please do so on or before Monday so that our certificate can be enrolled within the week. Then a quick one, within the week, we have a program, we have programs lined up, just like Mr. Andrew said, talking about HR management. We've taken note, and anytime from now is going to come up. But we have programs coming up, professional diploma, the first one next week, which is 15th, we have 2 days, 15th and 16th of this month. We have professional diploma in emergency response. It is 20,000 naira. It's just going to be 2 days, and you have your certificate. Also, we have professional diploma in caregiving. That one is coming sometime soon, very, very soon. So all this is on the pipeline. So I want to thank you, all of you, thank everybody, because without you, there will be no MJB management and integrated services. Thank you for those. Thank you, everybody that participated in one way or the other. I pray that you strive in everything you do, you become more successful, and may our Creator continue to bless us. Have a lovely night rest and a great week ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Basi. Thank you so much. Thank you for putting all this together. Keep up the good work, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Andrew, and thank you, everybody. Good night for now.
Good night, sir.
Thanks.
Yes.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Lord.
Good night, Mr. Hassan. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night, everyone.